Looks like a motorbike. Oh, it's a scooter. Scooter.
So I haven't been able to get out a video for a while. Basically, the reason for that is that it's been raining, and the things that I really wanted to do was to do some painting and clear coat some panels so that I don't end up scratching them. But obviously rain isn't the best weather for that, so I haven't been able to do that, but I'll show you guys what I have been doing. I was about to start making the throttle cable, but this is the cable and it had a little end on it, and then I started making it and not realizing that that end is actually just solder. So that of course melted. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame, so I thought I'd just be able to take that off and reuse that. Happy with how this is sort of turning out. Obviously this cable is the wrong size, it is too thin, but it does fit. Will the cable snap on you? Potentially. I've just been looking at doing the throttle cable, so I've taken off the bit there. I've got the inside of that here, and I've found this bit in my snazzy set already, and these are just screw-on bits, which is A, handy, and B, fits. I came up with an idea, like when Forrest Gump told that sergeant that he's just there to do whatever he tells him to do. I was just trying to figure out how long this throttle cable needs to be, so I've got it into the carb slide here, and that will go from there. I've put this thing on here. This is my stroke of genius. It's probably not that much genius, but popping that there. I've seen on other scooters where they have a little steel bit that comes off there that it will clamp to, and it just helps guide the throttle cable gently over so that it can go down through that main area down in the floor. I obviously don't have that on this one, so I'm just going to do it off a valve cover bolt. So that's going to round down there and basically up here and then into the throttle slide here. It's an awfully large adjuster, so I might have to make that a bit smaller because I don't have a lot of room through here. Just is the perfect size. I thought I'll just show you the problem with this. Basically, this is the adjuster that comes on it. Now, I'm not too worried about this one because there is an adjuster down here, which is probably a bit hard to see, but there is an adjuster on there. This one here has quite long thread. You've also got this bit here, which comes onto here, and then you've got even more length in there. You're looking at sticking out that much. Now, if you're looking at the front of the bike, you can see that bend there, down here at the bottom, is going to be too close to this when we're turning that way. Ideally, we would almost want the bend to start coming out through here. The first thing is I can take off a few threads off the top here. I can also take off a little bit out of here as well. Instead of just using this as an adjuster, I'm going to drill through this side here so that I can seat the cable into it. So hopefully that will work a lot better because then I can pretty much hide most of this inside the handlebar there. Now this guy should just go in here. If we imagine our cable is stuck to this end cap, sits in there. We still have a tiny bit of adjustability, which is great. I think that'll work. So I'm happy with how that length there is going. We've got that coming up to here now. These little screw things here, which are probably very hard to see, I can probably use one of these. Instead of using the screw end of it, which is that little black bit at the end there, I'll just take the screw out, drill out one end bigger, and sort of use this as an actual fixing bit, and I'll just solder that on. So I gave that a go, and ended up with this. And whilst it does look a little bit ugly, it's just because I've not tidied it up, but it is pretty strong and I can't pull that end cap off there. Now this is my test baby, and I'll try that on the profit cable and hopefully that'll work. got the cable just through here. This is just hanging out. I've drilled a larger diameter hole in the top here. So that just means we can put in more solder at the top. The solder should be using, I'm told online, is leaded core solder 6040. We'll splay that down a bit and then we'll sort of work on soldering that in there. Alright, then I've got that as good as I'm gonna get that. It's hard to see in there, I guess, but there is some spread in there. I think we'll just start soldering that together. Let's do the pull test. No, I think that's gonna be good. Alright, I think that's pretty good. Let's see if that fits. Well, it might be a bit hard to see from the grease and everything, but that's in there. You can see that little circle bit right there. That's us. That's great. I'm really happy that that's in there. The fitment here seems to be good. Seems to be going good. That's good. And I can hear the carb slide moving up and down. Happy enough with the throttle cable. We could do the same thing for this cable here, though it's not really the right thickness. It is sort of working for a clutch cable, but it's not, like I say, it's not really the right thickness. So we're gonna make up probably definitely the clutch cable. We'll redo that properly, and then we can do the brakes if we feel like it. This rear brake, definitely the cable here is very loose, so we might redo that. We might have to think about how we do the bracket, because I think with the bracketry where that's supposed to sit is a bit bung. But other than that, that's really good. I need to get some headlamp stuff sorted. I bought some bulbs, but I don't really understand how they fit in the housing, so I might have to just bite the bullet and just buy a whole headlamp assembly, because the front is really just control cables and headlamp. That's it. There's nothing else. Once that's all on, that means we can put the floor on, we can put the two side bits on, and start putting on the fairings and all that sort of stuff. Figure out the seat. I do have some stuff for the seat, although I'm not sure it's going to work. Alright, some proper cable arrived from British Motor Spares, which is in Nelson. We've got the proper thickness sheathing and all the little bits in here, so that's really good. They send that stuff pretty quickly. So I've got the old clutch cable here, well, the old new one, the one I made, but the cable here is quite thin. So what I'm going to do is I'll just remake this cable. Just finished making the clutch cable. You can see I've soldered those bits on and cleaned them up nicely, and I've got this attachment for the other end of it. So I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out. I've still got a little bit of adjustment that I've had to make in here, but that's okay. Now, works pretty well. This sits down a little bit because there's a bit of a gap in there. So what I think I need to do is I think I just need to hammer out the bottom of this. But other than that, pretty happy with that cable. The rear cable, I have no idea what's going on there. I think the bracket where that cable sits, this bracket here is a bit broken. I think that's where the brake cable sits into. Oh, there's a bolt here. I probably lost that off from something. I'm not sure what the go is with that. I'll probably have to do a bit more research.
It's gonna get real dark real soon, so I might just call it at that. We got most of the way there with that, which is good. I'll catch you guys next time.